We arrived bright and early, meeting up with Governor Parkinson as he headed into his office. The governor got right to work preparing for a cabinet meeting. Before we go behind the closed door where the public is not allowed, let's meet some of his staff.
We have a much smaller staff than I think people would anticipate. The entire governor's staff, I don't know the exact count right now, but it's somewhere between like 15 and 18 people. We don't have a staff of hundreds of people that are trying to figure all these things out. There are governors out there that have security forces that are larger than our entire staff.
Office of the Governor, how can I help you?
One of the only staff members the public meets is Larry Howell.
We never lose track of the fact that when we pick up the phone, many of the people that are calling in, this is going to be their main contact with either the Sebelius or the Parkinson administration.
Larry, like all the other staff, are not permanent state employees. They leave with each administration. Besides answering your calls, Larry also deals with the mail. Lots of mail.
This little plastic tub is basically full this time, and we usually get about one of those a day. It's usually really full on Mondays, and after that it kind of trickles down to the end of the week. Good morning, Office of the Governor. How can I help you?
The first meeting on the governor's agenda this day was a discussion to make broadband internet more available to the public. Then Secretary Jim Garner arrives ready for his meeting.
Governor Parkinson is a very hands-on type of governor, wants to know what's going on, and is very engaged with what's happening in my agency, the Department of Labor.
We have an amazing staff. Because these are state jobs, they don't pay exorbitant amounts of money that people might think. But despite that, Governor Sebelius was able to attract some remarkable people.
Next on the agenda, a taping at the Highway Patrol headquarters.
3, 2. I've had a lot of people that have asked me.
The governor's communication director, Beth Martino, explains the topic and helps the governor prepare for his close-up.
We have to have a good team that knows all the ins and outs of that, and it's our job to help make sure that he is getting his point across, getting his message across to Kansas citizens, and that's what I was doing that day. That's what I try to do every day.
Despite the size of our staff, I've never had people that are willing to help me with speeches and figure out strategy, and it's really been great.
After that, then it's off to lunch at Cedar Crest with his wife Stacy. And then it was back to the Capitol for more meetings. During a normal day, dozens of people come in and out of the governor's ceremonial office.
Sometimes the reactions vary a great deal, but they'll say, well, that can't be his desk because there's nothing on it. Well, he has another desk, as we emphasize, that is about 60 feet behind that door.
So we get the okay to show his real desk.
I'm not exactly a neat freak.
After his last meeting is over, we jump on the governor's plane to head to Hutchinson for a highway dedication. With a Department of Transportation vest on, the governor gets the honor of unveiling the new highway sign via satellite to a DOT convention nearby. After about 20 minutes, we are off to the convention where the governor was asked to speak before the crowd. As we tried to make our way out, several people had to stop and talk. But as we were almost out, a woman from Hayes, a couple of hours away, wanted the governor to listen to her dilemma.
When the governor goes out, people approach him and bring him ideas and concerns and their thoughts. And on that day, we had somebody who was pretty unhappy about something that approached us.
The governor listened, and then Beth took over.
The governor's role is really to just let them know that he's there to hear their concern, which I think he did. And I did go on to get her information to make sure that we followed up.
With a couple of delays, we were only just a few minutes late getting back to Topeka. The governor used his downtime to keep track of his duties on his BlackBerry, a new piece of technology he is still getting used to.
It did take a little convincing to get him one, but he's now fully versed in the uses of the BlackBerry. He often will say, well, I Googled this over the weekend, and have a topic in mind that he's been thinking about. So I think it's really great to have someone who is on board with all those things. That makes it a lot easier.
To have the opportunity to serve as governor and Stacy First Lady of the state that we've lived in all our lives, it's really kind of a dream come true.
Welcome. Nice to see you again. Cedar Crest. Stacy, you will be our tour guide today.
Of course. Teacups of the First Ladies, and they're engraved in gold, and they're all different.
Really?
And I think I'll probably put a Starbucks mug in there.
The governor's wife, Stacy, had her reservations about becoming First Lady and taking up residence at Cedar Crest.
I had concerns about how it would be a family home in terms of just rolling around on the floor with the dogs and you know, just having that family life where we all hang out, you know, playing Scrabble or whatever.
But after just a couple of days, Stacy feels her family is right at home.
The living quarters are very accommodating, and once I saw that, that was a real relief in my mind that we would be able to have that family spirit that we like.
What I've been told, and I haven't actually
Could
seen
be
this
urban
language.
legend.
Yeah, this could be urban legend. I've been told that if the first family doesn't live in this home, that the state actually loses the right for the first family to live in it. It retreats back to this trust fund. So, you know, I certainly didn't want one of the accomplishments on my watch being that I lost the governor's mansion for the state of Kansas.
The Parkinsons are definitely figuring their way around the governor's estate.
It is the smallest and most modest residence of all the governors in the U.S., but it sits on the most acreage, 244 acres.
One of the things that's amazing about this home is that there is phenomenal art from all of the well-known Kansas artists, you know, in every nook and cranny of this house. And so over the fireplace is Berger Sanzane, who is our favorite Kansas artist.
It was during the Graves administration that Mrs. Graves actually raised enough money to renovate Cedar Crest, all while keeping its history preserved.
It's like living in a museum.
Yes.
That's really cool.
This is a great library. The chandelier itself is original to the house.
Which includes 1,500 books, not just in the library, but all around the house.
Let me just show you something, just like, okay, we're just thumbing through these books, and here is a book, a first edition book of Joan of Arc by Mark Twain. We're thumbing through this thing, and here it is, signed by Mark Twain. This is the authorized uniform edition of all my books, Mark Twain.
It's not just signature surprises in Cedar Crest, there are a couple of mysteries.
There's a safe back there that's never been opened. And so, like, you know, we're just like really curious, you know, what is in this safe?
The governor's son is confident he will crack the combination, but there is another that is right out in the open.
It's a door to nowhere. One of the mysteries.
With all of this, moving in was easy for the Parkinsons.
All this furniture, all the books, all the dishes, all the towels, everything stays in this house. So you don't have to move your furniture from your own home. All you need to bring is your clothes, and the place is ready to go.
There weren't a lot of boxes to move. There were just hangers of clothes.
Stacy and I have been married for a little over 26 years now, and the first home that we lived in was a mobile home in Lawrence. And we're very happy now, but we were just as happy in the mobile home as we are in this house right now. And I know there are a lot of people out there that are struggling, that are losing their homes, that have had a dream to buy a home and they can't afford to do it. And I hope they don't see this piece and think, wow, those people, you know, think they're better than us because they live in this home. We're not any better than anybody else. We're just Kansans that found ourselves in a very fortunate position, and we're very privileged and honored to be here.